Well, hello everyone, Taxi88 here and welcome to another review. And now we're taking a look at the ZX Spectrum game P-47 Thunderbolt, also known as P-47 The Freedom Fighter. This was published by Firebird Software in 1990 and is an arcade conversion of the Jaleco arcade game of the same name that I believe came out in 1988, according to what I've read. I never actually saw the arcade version at any point in my life, so... But what I've read seems to suggest that the original arcade version came out in 1988, and that Jaleco was the original rights holder to that particular version. As well as the ZX Spectrum, it also came out for the Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64, Commodore Amiga and Atari ST. The ZX Spectrum's original retail price was £9.99 for the cassette version and £14.99 for the floppy disk version. It's worth pointing out, even if you're running it in 128K, you're still using the cassette version in particular, you're still going to get multi-load, sadly. So even with those big memories, you're going to have to go through all that, which is a bit of a shame. So let's set our control options. Now, it's worth pointing out, if you wish to redefine your keys, you cannot use the letter Q, because that's quit. And it would actually have been nice if it could have been set so that you didn't, so you couldn't actually select that key when redefining, because otherwise it's quite frustrating. This isn't the first game to have had that problem. I had the same problem with Spy Hunter when I originally selected space to be my fire button, which I find very comfortable, only to find that was actually pause, if I remember correctly. So let's get ready to go. And this nice little picture introducing the level, and here's our aeroplane on the left there. Runs at a nice speed. You can see a tank at the bottom there. Graphically, it looks very nice considering the limitations of the Spectrum. Obviously, they decided to keep everything monochrome to avoid attribute problems. Something that Spectrum players in 1990 would have been more than used to by that point. Well, at least even on full, at least it's not deathly silent. Controls are nice and responsive. That's an extra life, as you can see by the fact it had the word 1 up in it. So as you can see, I've now got four lives, as you can shown by the 4 planes in the bottom right corner of the screen. And in the bottom left corner, you've got where it says weapon, because I've picked up 2 weapon power-ups. When you pick up a weapon power-up, the letter gives you an idea of what weapon it is, whereas whichever one you pick up, even if it's the same one, it'll also power it up. Right, now you can see that what was an E in the bottom left corner in the weapon box now changed to a B, as I'm now switched to bombs, and I've also got a power-up and it's also been powered up by 3 because I've picked up 3 different weapon power-ups since the start of the game. So now we've got to... Oops, I took a hit there. And each time you die, rather than losing all your weapons, you lose just one power level of the weapons. Luckily, if you can, the key to this particular boss is finding a sweet spot where you can bomb it using the bombs that you picked up, and just repeatedly pummel it until it blows up. Well, I would pummel it, but I can't drop any more bombs at a time because I died twice trying to do it. I must point out that occasionally, although the backgrounds look very nice and generally it's not a problem, when you're close to the close to the ground like I was moments earlier when trying to take on this train, I did notice that that background did obscure the bullets a bit too much. The bullets could have done with being a bit clearer to see somehow. I'm not quite, but this is often a problem on the ZX Spectrum when you use monochromes. Sometimes it can be quite hard to have a background that doesn't interfere with sprites, and bullets in particular can be quite a challenge for programmers of Spectrum games when they want to have detailed backgrounds to push the limits of the Spectrum, while at the same time trying to make sure it's as playable as possible by not having things disappear out of view. Or otherwise be hard to see as they pass by the background. I'm kind of annoyed with myself that I lost those 2 lives now, because this boss isn't exactly difficult. It's just a bit of a pain when... No. I was hoping I could speed things up a little now, but no. Luckily, even if your weapon power was just 1 when you died, I've still got it. I can still drop a bomb. And you lose potential bonus if you miss any of the power-ups. And now we're high up in the clouds, and we've got several levels of parallax scrolling here, and we've got a nice little sunset in the background. This level kind of reminds me of one of the levels in Area 88, which is better known to Westerners as UN Squadron. Right. Missiles. Now those big planes are a bit weird. Sometimes they just come into view and don't even shoot at you, whereas other times they'll fire a whole slew of bullets that, depending on where you happen to be, will be quite a challenge to avoid, because it fires so many of them in a bit of a spread, a bit like you saw with the train just then. I'm having no problem seeing the enemies, and luckily these things don't shoot. This is my favourite weapon. As you can see, it's firing several bullets in the direction that I happen to be going at the time. See what I mean? That plane fired all those bullets that time. Whereas with this weapon, you can still fire directly, your regular shot directly forwards, exactly as before. So in some cases, this can be quite handy. This weapon I picked up can be quite handy in trying to shoot things without being in danger yourself. And luckily, because I've picked up enough... No, I don't want the bombs here. You'll find out why in a moment if I don't die. See, that plane there didn't even shoot. Yeah, the one before it did. Occasionally there's a bit of slowdown when the screen gets busy, but at least the control. Now that's a speed up, and that is one thing you do lose if you lose a life. You got some rockets coming up diagonally. So one safe spot from these is in this top right corner. I'm staying low for this bit because I'm about to get the boss, which is a big aeroplane. I recently streamed this game on my Twitch channel for the first time, and it's generally and I quickly learned that this is a safe spot in the bottom right corner here, and thanks to my being able to direct the weapon I've got I can shoot at this plane without endangering myself. Whereas had I got the bombs that I very nearly did, when I had that power up from that helicopter that had the letter B in it, I would have had to have been directly above the plane in order to even remotely stand a chance of hitting it, which would have put me in considerable danger from its shots, especially with the restricted space and how high up this boss plane goes when you shoot it. It gives you very little information. Because I missed those bombs, I lost 1,000 points I would have got. I'd rather lose 1,000 points than lose lots of lives, especially. Now, it's worth pointing out, pictures like that tank picture you just saw then, my understanding is that it's only the ZX Spectrum Plus 3 disc version that has those. The 148 and 128K cassette versions, if I understand correctly, either lack those or have far fewer of them. It's not absolutely clear which of those is the case. Oh, and yes, you can crash into the trees, so you really don't want to be doing that. As I found out the hard way when I was streaming on my Twitch channel recently. I got that directable weapon now. No, I'm not getting the... Well, thinking about it for the boss I'm about. Speed up, yes, definitely getting that. My only real gripe, apart from what I mentioned about the backgrounds making it sometimes a bit hard to tell what's going on because with the monochrome and extra life, definitely getting that. The only other real problem I generally have with P-47, the Freedom Fighter, is it's really not particularly original. Even for 1990 or 1988, there's not really anything that hasn't already been done before, and people who commented on the live stream that I recently did where I played this game for the first time actually pointed out that even those who'd played the original Jaleco arcade game said it was pretty average. I mean, even for when it came out, there wasn't really much, if anything, that hadn't been done before. Especially as full price this game would have cost either a penny shy of a tenner or £15, depending on whether you're getting the cassette or disc version, respectively. So not particularly cheap. Nice. Again, because I deliberately missed out the bombs, I didn't get to that 1,000 points I would have otherwise got. Oh crud! Thank God some enemies didn't come from the right hand side, otherwise I would have been cactus. Right. Those missiles again, like we saw on the sunset stage. Am I going to regret getting those bombs? Well, we'll soon find out. As you can see, I can drop more of them compared to when I was taking on the train earlier because I didn't lose 2 lives trying to do it. Look at that water effect down there. Pretty cool. Oh, cruddy. And now we're taking on a battleship, which again reminds me quite a bit of the UN Squadron. which again is another thing that's sort of and unlike UN Squadron, your plane doesn't actually turn around, so you're still going backwards, which means I'm getting no weapons. I'm nothing but bombs this time. Oh, jeez. On the plus side, at least the sky's nice and clear, so there's little to no chance of me. Right, so I've just got to try and take out. No. No! Damn it! I completely misread that. Right, that one doesn't seem to be firing over there. That suggests to me that. Oh, now it's firing again. I thought maybe I'd finished it. Oh, crud! Right, I lost all my lives there. Can't put the 88, I can't put numerical digits. And we get a nice game over screen there. So that's P-47, the Freedom Fighter, or P-47 Thunderbolt, as the alternative title is, as I said earlier. A competent shoot 'em up. It's just that, by and large, there's not really anything that hadn't been done before, which is a bit of a blight for people who are trying to find another game around the time we're looking for something a bit different. And for £10 or £15, this probably didn't really satisfy a lot of people's wants or needs for another shoot 'em up to add to their collection, even though generally it's competently done. Graphics, monochrome to avoid colour clash, save for the status display at the bottom of the screen there. Generally the playing area is nice and big, which is a plus. For the most part, you can see what's going on even when there's busy backgrounds. Just sometimes bullets can be a bit hard to see. And as you can see, there is a mono thing, which the program has added to potentially minimise the effects of what I just said about bullets being a bit hard to see. The only problem is when I actually tried it, instead of being rather comfortable to look at cyan for the first level, for instance, it made it all white, and it was a bit too much to look at. So I quickly abandoned that. But some other people might prefer it that way. I'm not going to knock it for giving it the option. I just personally prefer it with the mono off and having the more comfortable colours to look at. Sound, well, you get this tune on the title screen, and you get some competent sound effects for the firing and explosions. Not the best ones I've heard. I mean, even on the Spectrum, I've heard better, more inventive sound effects. Although the ones for when a boss, the sound effects for explosions when a boss dies is pretty cool. Gameplay. Well, it controls really well. It would have been nice if when you redefine your keys, it would actually block you from using the letter Q, but it doesn't. So you could end up thinking that you can select that for one of your keys, only to find that that's actually the quit game option. Ideally, that should have been blocked so you couldn't select it. Control-wise, it's really good. Generally, everything's nice and smooth, although the frame rate does drop a bit when there's lots of bullets and other things on the screen. but I've not, even when that happens, I've not noticed any noticeable dip in controllability of the aeroplane you're piloting. I like the way they did the power-up system, and I particularly like the way you don't go back to the very beginning of the level when you die, and B, the way you don't lose all your weapons when you lose a life. The only thing you do lose instantly is the speed up if you picked it up. But other than that, the only real problems, as I said, were what I mentioned about bullets sometimes being hard to see against the busier aspects of backgrounds, and B, the fact that the game generally doesn't really offer anything new. And I've also got to take into account its full price. Had it been released straight away on budget, which I can understand couldn't really happen because of the cost involved in getting the rights to convert to the original arcade game in the first place. But it doesn't alter the fact that for 10 or 15 quid you're just not getting a game that's particularly innovative. Which is a shame, because if you can see past that, it's quite fun to play. It's just expecting people to pay $9.99 or $14.99 for a game which when they probably had a better game in their collection already. It's a bit much. So the price and lack of originality are the ones that are going to eat into the final score a bit. So I'm going to give this game, P-47 the Freedom Fighter, aka P-47 Thunderbolt, 7 out of 10. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Hope to catch you on another video soon. Texie88 out.